Now, India and China have agreed on a resumption of Kailash Mansarovar Yatra in the 23rd meeting of the special representatives. They've also agreed to cross-border tourism, including in areas like Tibet and cross-border river cooperation and Nathula border trade. Now, this, in fact, was the first special representative level meeting since the flare-up in the western sector of the India-China border areas in 2020. And during the meeting, the National Security Advisor Ajit Doval and the Chinese Foreign Minister Wang Yi stressed on the need to maintain peace and has reaffirmed their commitments to seeking a fair, reasonable and mutually acceptable package solution to the boundary dispute. Now, the special representatives of India and China had started talks to resolve the boundary dispute in 2003. They had reached an agreement in 2005 on political parameters and also the guiding principles for settlement of the boundary question. Article 3 of the 2005 agreement says that both sides should, in spirit of mutual respect and mutual understanding, make meaningful and mutually acceptable adjustments to their respective positions on the boundary question, so as to arrive at a package settlement to the boundary question. Now, Ajit Doval and Wang Yi have held the last special representative level meeting on the 21st of December back in 2019, just a few months before the military standoff started along the LAC. The negotiations, of course, remained stalled as the bilateral relationship had plunged over the past 4.5 years. The 21st of October deal between the Indian Army and the Chinese PLA on patrolling arrangements in the Depsang and Demchok areas in eastern Ladakh marked the end of the process of disengagement of frontline troops along the LAC. It also paved the way for a meeting between the Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi and the Chinese President Xi Jinping 2 days later on the sidelines of the BRICS summit at Kazan in Russia. And it was in this meeting that they had agreed that the special representatives will restart the boundary negotiations again. Now, during the meeting on Wednesday, the Indian and the Chinese special representatives emphasized the need to ensure peaceful conditions on the ground so that the issues on the border do not hold back the normal development of bilateral relations. Now, Ajit Doval has also invited Wang Yi to visit India to hold the next round of the special representatives meeting. Now, besides the meeting, the Chinese Foreign Minister, India's National Security Advisor, also met the Chinese Vice President Han Zheng. Meanwhile, the U.S. Department of Defense has said that China has not scaled down its huge military presence along the LAC with India. The Pentagon's annual report on China's military capabilities has said that the PLA still remains focused on developing capabilities to dissuade, deter or defeat any third-party intervention in the entire Indo-Pacific region. And WION Siddhant Sibil is joining us on this broadcast with more details on this story. Siddhant, this is a crucial breakthrough where in this special representative meetings, both Ajit Doval and the Chinese Minister Wang Yi have had some fruitful discussions. Tell us more on this.
Well, Mohammed, overall the message is clear that India and China are now heading towards normalization of the relationship, something that was missing since the Galwan incident of 2020. Now, last 3 months have seen the 21st October Pact that saw the disengagement at Demchok and Depsang, followed by the meeting between Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi and the Chinese President Xi Jinping. In November, both the foreign ministers met in Brazil on the sidelines of the G20 summit. The defense ministers also met when it comes to the ASEAN defense ministers plus meeting on the sidelines of that meeting. And now, of course, the SR level talks that took place in Beijing. In fact, the visit of the Indian NSA Ajit Doval is the first high-level visit from India to China since the Galwan incident. Now, the key outcomes include, of course, the practical engagement, as you have pointed out, whether it is the resumption of the Kailash Mansarovar Yatra, whether it's the resumption of trade, cross-border trade, or sharing of data when it comes to cross-border rivers. But above all, if you go through the nitty-gritties of the releases, both by India and by China, the message is clear that both sides are eager to work towards making sure that there is a stability in the relationship. 2025 will be a significant year, given the fact that 2025 is the year when China hosts the SCO groupings main meetings, including the summit, that could see more visits from India to China and further normalization of the relationship.
Indeed. Thank you very much, Siddhant Sibil, for joining us and getting us all those details there.